This week, nearly 80 million people across the country will travel ahead of Thanksgiving. Thank you for joining us on this Monday for First Coast News at 5. I'm Anthony Austin.
And I'm Heather Crawford. So 289,000 people are expected to fly out of Florida alone. This is according to AAA. And in just minutes, we're on your side with what you need to know before heading to the Jacksonville airport.
But first, let's talk about the roads. 4.1 million Floridians will drive at least 50 miles from their home for the holiday. 71.7 million people nationwide. And right now, you're taking a live look at I-95 up in Glenn County. Major traffic delays aren't expected until later this week, but we will continue to keep an eye on the roads for you.
And driver and car safety is incredibly important with so many people expected to drive this week. So we want to check in now with our Drew Cosgray. And Drew, I know you have a couple of things that drivers can do tonight to make sure that their car's ready to go before they hit the road.
Yeah, that's correct, Heather. I talked to a mechanic today who tells me that this is the busiest time of the year for him, and he gave drivers some tips to be safe this Thanksgiving. John Carroll with Carroll Tires says this is the busiest time of the year for his car shop.
We see a pretty heavy increase, especially these 3 days before Thanksgiving.
AAA says this year a record-breaking 4.5 million Floridians will take the road for Thanksgiving. They expect over 500,000 stranded cars on the holiday.
We get thousands of calls from people who probably didn't expect that they would have car trouble. Most people don't. And ultimately, these are folks that may not have been maintaining their vehicle properly.
AAA says the three most common calls they receive are for flat tires, dead batteries, and lockouts. Carroll showed us what drivers need to pay attention to before hitting the road.
Is to check your tires, look at them, make sure they don't have any steel bands coming out of them. Check the pressure, make sure it's at the recommended setting, which is on the door jamb on the driver's front door. Also, we're going to want to check oil level, make sure you're topped off, you have plenty of oil. Also, make sure that your battery has plenty of charge and that you're not going to get yourself in a situation where you're stuck on the side of the road.
Carroll says you still have time to get your vehicle looked at by a professional.
It's just nice to have some peace of mind when you know that that stuff is handled.
And Carroll says to not forget about your spare tires. He says there's nothing worse than being stranded and realizing that your spare tire is flat. Reporting in Jacksonville, this is Drew Cosgray, First Coast News, on your side.